Palm Beach Miami-Dade Real Estate Investors Association. My name is Alexa, COO here at the BPM RIA office. We have Anish Dave, we have Harry Diamond in the virtual building, some of our amazing mentors. They're going to be leading you throughout today's class, but today's class will be about discovering how to fund real estate deals without breaking the bank. But just to get us started on a good note, I've been telling you guys, I told you guys to show up and I'm happy you did. But for those that are trickling on in, go ahead and text the word quick start to 954-800-6961 and you will have a chance to win a free seat to our boot camp. This is coming up next month. So go, go, go. I will announce the winner at the end and I'm putting those details in the chat box right now. So pay attention to the chat box. I'll be putting some helpful things in there throughout today's session. So go, 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 look at the screen, quick start, text the word quick start to this phone number right here, 954-800-6961, and I will announce the winner at the end. Good luck. All right, upcoming events, you guys, I wanted to take just a moment to touch on these upcoming events that we have. They're all posted to our website right now on bpmria.com. So please, I invite you to go to the website, take your time looking at these events. I know your time is extremely valuable, but I want to make sure that you do not miss out on this super valuable information, all knowledge from our awesome community that takes the time out of their schedule to give back and just show us what they're learning, what they're doing, what they're succeeding at, so that we can go ahead and do that too. So if you guys look at the screen, you'll see that we have a webinar tomorrow morning. We have one of our members, Aisha. She's a successful wholesaler and she's going to discuss the art of wholesaling and personal growth. Highly, highly recommend you guys. You guys are going to learn firsthand from people, boots in the ground in our community in South Florida that are succeeding. So hope to see you guys at the webinar tomorrow morning, same time, same place, right here on Zoom. And then in the evening, we have a double header tomorrow, guys, a double header. So if you are anywhere at the Palm Beach area, North Broward, anywhere in Broward, if you can make it to the Kai's Yamato office, we have a workshop with gosh, a lot of our mentors will be there. I'll just say that. A lot of our mentors will be at the Yamato office tomorrow. It's a free workshop. It is limited seating, so we do need you guys to put your name on the list. If you want there to be enough coffee, you better put your name on the list. We need to know how many people are there. So you guys, we filled that place up the last time. I want to see that same energy again. Come out, Kai's office. We're gonna have, lenders there. I mean, we got like realtors there. It's a good time. So we're gonna discuss how to analyze properties for investment success. And again, we're hitting you guys up with a ton of raffles this week. And I do want to just take another moment to highlight this event right here. This Saturday, January 8th, we have our Real Estate Super Saturday. Once again, you guys absolutely love this one. It's going to be limited seating though, so please, we only have a few seats left. Go get your tickets. They're $49 per person, lunch included. It's going to be a full day of learning. We have speakers actually flying in for this event. We have vendors there. There's going to be networking. You guys get lunch. This event is hosted by Next Million Mastermind, so please go support them. All of my Miami-Dade people. This is January 18th. So yeah, January 18th is this Saturday. Miami Shores Country Club, all day long, free parking. It's going to be a phenomenal day. And of course, we have a raffle, and I'm sure they're going to be giving away stuff, promo, all that fun stuff. So hope to see you guys there again. Next week, we have more free webinars for you guys. We're going to turn your free time into profits, real estate investing for busy people. I'm excited for that one. That'll be with us here at BPM RIA. Free webinar next week. Go get registered, and a raffle, even better. And then another webinar with Next Mill Mastermind next week. Sorry guys, I don't know what day that is. That is going to be next week at some point. I'll get the day for you. Or go to the website and just register, and you're automatically going to get a reminder because you registered in Zoom because it's a free webinar.
It's
So
it's just so you know, it's January 22nd.
January 22nd, you guys. So the day after, that's a
Yeah.
Wednesday, and it's 11 to 12:30. You guys know where we are and what we do. We want to be here and support and serve you guys. So even better, go sign up for the text updates, actually. Go do that right now. Look at the screen, text the word BPM, REIA, all one word, no spaces. Leave out the little quotation mark thingies to this number right here, and you will get a reminder with the registration for every event that we have. It'll be like a day of text message, super convenient, super easy. You guys will love it. You can always opt out if you don't love it, but I promise you're gonna love it. So go ahead and text that. And I also put those details in the chat for you guys. And oh, my favorite, our quick start training. This is going to be a 2 full day boot camp. The entire thing is led by our CEO and lead mentor, Anish Dave. I love to say this. This is like the most time consecutively that you'll get with Anish unless you go on the National RIA cruise. So you guys, I highly recommend it. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. both Saturday and Sunday. You're going to be locked in with Anish. You're going to be like thinking like Anish. You're going to be like in his brain for 2 days. So if you could only imagine like what you're going to get out of this, it's amazing. So that's why we give you a PDF booklet. You get to keep this for life. You know, I'm happy to schedule follow-up meetings so that you know what is going on in your brain and you can be able to process that information. So we have the member pricing, non-member pricing. We're going to get into the wholesaling, flipping, and rehabbing. It's absolutely incredible. 4 guest speakers, all local business owners, you guys. And these are key people on our power team that help us get our deals through. We have our primary contractor. We have our chief tax strategist. We have our software creator. We have our, oh gosh, we have our title person that's just the absolute best. We have so many amazing people that are in this training. Our mentors will pop in. I know Harry's always dropping diamonds, you know, no pun intended. So he is everybody that's in there is super invested into you guys. So walk away with contact information. You'll be top of mind for these people that are in this training. So highly recommend it. And go ahead and click that link in the chat. If you're just trickling on in, link in the chat. You'll see who the speakers are, what businesses they own, what they do, and everything. If you go ahead and click that link in the chat right there. So members, as you guys know, you get all the goodies. You get in free for our quarterly networking meeting that we had last week. Your guests come in for discounted price, $10. You get all those discounts that we get through the National RIA. We are the only approved chapter in South Florida that gets those National RIA benefits. So you're going to get those huge discounts to Home Depot. I just used the Avis last weekend. We got a, you know, we're sharing cars over here, and I am just so grateful for these benefits, especially, you know, with the Home Depot stuff, you guys get a rebate. I don't know if you know that. So please go investigate, go check out the link in the chat. You get a ton more benefits, CAMA plan, the list goes on, property insurance. So if you don't have your membership, I highly recommend getting that and asking me any questions if you have them. I'm more than happy to let you guys know. Oh, gosh, guys, last but very not least, I promise we're going to get started in just a moment, but one-on-one coaching and mentoring at BPM RIA. Some of you may know that we offer one-on-one coaching and mentoring. Some of you may not. So for those that have no idea what I'm talking about, please, I invite you to go book a discovery call with me on our website. I'm more than happy to share a brochure of everything that we include in our one-on-one coaching program, where we put up 100% of the money for our students' deals and split the profit 50-50. So go book a discovery call on our website right now. Link in the chat. My email's in the chat. This is where we can get into it one-on-one. And most importantly, if you are interested in funding your education, we do have the third-party funding available. It's going to be using this QR code right here. They're going to request that you have a minimum 620 credit score, $35,000 verifiable income, soft credit pull, same day response. So we're happy that we're able to offer this for anyone who's needing to fund any education, invest in yourself. This QR code is here for you guys, and let me know if you need me to send you that. But thank you guys so much. I always want to take a moment to thank you guys for showing up today. Thank all of our members, all of our corporate members who sponsor our, quarterly events, workshops, networking events for you guys. Like, we are so, so beyond grateful. We don't take that lightly. And we always want to thank the National RIA for all of the benefits that they offer and all of the education, everything. So thank you guys so much. I know that was a lot for, the first webinar of the year. I promise, we do have a lot of events for you guys right now, and we don't want to stop. So, but yeah, this is, don't forget, guys, this is your RIA. So we want to know what topics you want to hear. We're loading up the calendar for you guys so we don't miss a beat. But you guys know my door is open, my email's in the chat. If there's any topics that you guys don't see or you want to hear, we're here for you all. So you guys, just a couple housekeeping rules. I know I'm taking a minute here, but please go ahead and put your questions in the Q&A box for our coaches that are on today, Anish and Harry. Put those questions in the Q&A. If you're wanting to chat with them, they'll be engaging with you guys. We want to make sure, get a pulse check here and there. So go ahead and, use that chat box. We love it. Use the chat. And yeah, use the chat box. I'll be putting helpful tips in there. I have the raffle going for you guys. I'll put the details of the raffle in there one more time for those that popped in late. I'll announce the winner at the end. The prize is a free ticket to our 2-day boot camp. So good luck. That's amazing. And yeah, so go ahead and put your questions in the Q&A. Thank you guys for letting me fill you in on everything that's been going on with National RIA and BPM RIA, and I'll put our social medias in the chat as well. So sorry about that. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alexa. Wow.
I know.
So how is everyone feeling? 2025, right? We're gonna get this thing going. This is our first webinar of the year. So we've already done in-person events. Hopefully, how many guys put in the chat? Were you at our in-person meeting last week? Just trying to see, get a gather of who's been showing up, who hasn't been showing up, all the above. In there. Okay. Yeah, I see a couple of you guys have. Okay, so today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about discover how to fund real estate deals without breaking the bank. And so who the heck am I, right? So I do see a lot of new names on here. My name is Anish Dave, CEO of BPM RIA, formerly known as BRIA, the Broward Real Estate Investors Association. I've been a licensed real estate agent since 2004. I'm still a licensed mortgage guy. I've been in real estate for, gosh, now it's almost 25 years. I've been through it all, meaning made a lot of money, and then the big crash in 2008 or 10, whatever you want to call it, went from millions to being bankrupt. I have also spent well over $50,000 on national programs. How many guys have read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad? Put in the chat. So today I want this to be interactive. I want to make sure you guys are still alive out there. So hey, Monty. Yeah, I know you have. So Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? If you haven't read the book, highly recommend reading the book. It literally changed my life. My dad was poor dad, I should say, and I was on the path of being poor dad. I grew up in New Jersey with Indian descent. My parents were hoping I'd become a doctor. And when I passed out, when they took some blood, mom knew I wasn't going to be a doctor, right? So I went to engineering school, the next best thing. Going through engineering school at Rutgers University, I realized I didn't want to be an engineer. And also, I didn't like the cold weather. So what did I do? I moved down to Tampa, went to USF, got a degree in finance. I was a longtime banker. My dream was to be, a big-time banker until I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that's when I realized I was on the path of being poor dad. As I started working for banks, they kept getting bought out. My position sometimes got liquidated. They promised me things, and before you know it, I realized this is not the way to build wealth. And for me, I said, I got to figure out how to invest in real estate. And it was basically this business that went from me making nothing to millions, being bankrupt, to rebuilding my life too. So our team, what we have, as you know, many guys already know Alexa. She's our COO of BPM RIA, the backbone of our company here. Also, I do have one of the mentors on board, Harry Diamond. His wife Victoria is also a mentor. Denise and Lucian, our mentors, Taryn Ward and Michael and Mabby. So if you guys come up tomorrow to Boca, you're going to meet Michael and Mabby also. And so, Harry, if you want to introduce yourself.
Well, I started about 12 years ago, actually 13 years ago now, in this business. Didn't know anything about real estate, but I knew that real estate was an additional income stream. So I started learning, did a national program, didn't do well with that at all, spent over 50 grand on that. But they did say go to all your local real estate investment associations, RIAs. And Victoria and I went to just about every single one that existed here in South Florida and stumbled across what's now BPM RIA. And we found that this was the only place that we were getting good information without having to look over our shoulder that someone was going to steal our deals. So we joined on board, quickly became their #1 students in Broward County, and we're been riding the wave ever since, being able to travel the world. So come and join us. We have a lot of fun. It's completely different work environment than anything I've done in the past. I used to run an engineering company in New York City, controlling the East Coast of the US and Mexico. And then when I sort of retired from that, I had a farm market business in Vermont, country bake shop, apple picking, blueberry picking, apple cider pressing, so much so that the Rachel Ray, the Food Network, and Good Morning America, and other nationwide and local attention to us there. And then things happened. I ended up moving to Florida, changing careers again, and picked up real estate and have never looked back since, because this is a great place to be.
Absolutely. And so what we always talk about, are you living your best life? Right. And that's what we're talking about. It's 2025. It's this business that allows me to spend time with my family. Unfortunately, my mom passed away about 6 years ago, and I didn't have enough time for her. So for me, it's the balance of making money and living the best life that you can. I'm a big sports fan, so my dad and I, we get to travel to baseball games, soccer games, all the above. My better half, my wife, loves to travel. We've been all over the world, from Dubai to Istanbul to Puerto Rico, Tulum, you name it. There's a lot of other spots I do want to go to. Our team, I know you just talked about, Harry was just talking about traveling throughout the world. One of the things that we did notice, all the mentors love to travel. The other big thing that I didn't touch on is all the mentors have done national programs. So we've all done 5 different national programs, and combined, we did 0 deals. And the reason I'm bringing that up too is I run into so many people that have done national programs, and they don't want to be in real estate anymore because it didn't work. We are living proof that 5 different national programs, and now we do this for a living. And it's literally changed our lives when it comes to that. So I think, again, traveling is very important for both of us, or all of us, I should say. And all the mentors were former students, and they now, not only are they mentors running their own business, they want to give back to our BPM student community also. Some of the other things that, yeah, good. Good, Harry, you had some, I'm sorry.
Oh, I just was saying that we're paying it forward.
Yep, absolutely. Some of the other things at BPM RIA, for you guys that are sports fans, unfortunately, I know our Miami Dolphins did not make the playoffs, and they're still winners, meaning they actually have a business combine. Stephen Ross, being a real estate guy, created the first combine for athletes. specifically the Miami Dolphins. They also now created the professional athletic community, which are former NFL players. There's former basketball players in there now too, and current NFL players. And now there's actually some baseball players too. I am their expert on wholesaling and rehabbing. So it's been pretty cool on that journey for me as a sports fan. Here at BPM RIA, we are about our community. We've done happy hours, we've done barbecues, and our motto is, real estate investing made simple, and we live in the world of abundance. You heard Alexa talk about the cruises. Some of you guys, I see some names on here, are going to be on the National RIA Cruise. That's coming up February 2nd to 9th. Highly recommend coming on the cruises. I know it might be a little bit too late this year. You should come to these events. There's well over anywhere from 100 to 200 real estate investors from around the country. We combine education and fun. You also see a lot of national speakers, and some of the biggest things that have changed my life were the people I met on the cruise too. The other thing is I have met Grant Cardone. I always tell, the people that actually know me well, I am always 100% transparent. I was never a big Grant Cardone fan until I met him. His social media or his online persona is not really my cup of tea. And once I actually got to talk to him and see that his passions are kids, he does have a non-for-profit to teach kids about real estate too. So I thought that was pretty cool. I've also was the first guest on Money Chats. That is a local NBC TV, and I was the first guest on the real estate market here in South Florida. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play a quick little video of what we've done since this past year, and then we'll get started.
This is one of the best programs I've been a part of. The support is outstanding.
I encourage you to join this association. Your life will be changed.
Anish and everybody that was part of the BPM RIA they were just wonderful. They are very knowledgeable. They were helpful. They were patient, kind, very good teachers, very organized. Everything was just it was a great quick start seminar.
Never mind. Wait for me to love.
BPM RIA, Anish and the team, they are amazing. I have been a corporate member of the BPM RIA, formerly known as BRIA, for probably almost 15 years. And being part of an organization like that is just amazing when you get to see the people's lives that they're changing.
Hey, what's up? This is Avery Moss, former New York Giant, former Miami Dolphin. Recently, I got to finish up this PAC event where it was a group of professional retired athletes that got together and we're trying to figure out the next chapter of our life. Just hearing them talk, going through everything, like instantly, I was inspired by the guy. It was like a light bulb clicked above my head like a cartoon. And thanks to Anish Dave, I can say furthermore, I'm going to go through this process and get into real estate, stop messing around and actually do it, because I feel confident now of knowing what exactly what I want to do after meeting him and getting a base knowledge and seeing how things are.
There you go. You're gonna destroy that shit, dude.
And I have to say, they're an exceptional bunch of people to work with. How to use a technique, creative financing, how to get rid of liens. Don't hesitate to join, work with them. They will definitely help you get through the roughest times.
Never mind.
They put up all the money for the deals. They're there with you, make sure all the paperwork is right. You know, they're not going to leave you alone on this. And yeah, I recommend this.
BPM RIA program, it's definitely changed our lives. They funded our deals.
Hey, can't go wrong with other people's money.
Exactly. You know, they funded our deals. They got us into real estate. They held our hand the whole way through, and just really, the most amazing thing is we literally have these guys to. It's nothing for us to pick up the phone and call Anish and be like, "Hey, look, we got this deal. What do we do?"
They're not going to let your deal fall through.
For all the people that were laughing at my face, I know where you're at. I know, Alexa, I know you're saying you're not laughing at me. I'm not sure about that. So that's just a preview of what we've been doing this past year at BPM RIA. And so now we're going to actually get into how we're funding deals without using all of your money, or if you have a limited amount of cash. So for the next hour or so, we're going to talk about what we've been doing, the best practices out there. We're going to talk about our coaching program and why you're going to want to invest in it. And so my question is, right, how many of you want 2025 to be your biggest year ever? Give me a yeah, buddy. I want to make sure you guys are listening in on that end of it. Put down your sandwich, your coffee on that end of it, right? Okay, a couple of you guys, right? Lydia, Gabriel. Okay, yeah, I see some of you guys. I hear you. Monty, definitely. Sandra, Emily. Yep, you got it. So how many of you realize there's some things that you definitely need to sharpen up and learn? And if you don't learn, it's going to cost you money. Give me a yeah, buddy. Yep, right? You're going to have to pick up those skills. Yep, Sandra, Monty. Okay. What about the rest of you guys? And how many of you ultimately understand nothing's free and you'll have to invest in yourself at some point? Give me a yeah, buddy. That way I know that you're out there. Yep. Okay. Yeah. All right. You got it. So the question goes, why do most people struggle to get started in real estate? Go ahead and put in the chat. I'm kind of curious to see what's stopping you. What are some of the things that are stopping you? Are you one of those no capital? I got no money. Alexa, you got money. You got me. Don't even try it. I'd fund all your deals, right? Lack of knowledge.
I do have money.
All right. So for a lot of you guys, and when I started no capital, right? I want to invest, right? This is usually what comes up for me. I want to invest, but I don't have the funds to get started. How many of you guys are in that boat? Right? There's a few of you. Right? There's a couple of you. I'm looking at it. Some of you, right? And Gabriel just talked about lack of knowledge or guidance. Right? I don't know where to find the deals or how to evaluate them. That was a big one for me too. Like, I don't know. I know there's deals. I see people doing deals. And that becomes a challenge, right? And so for me, this was big too. And it's kind of funny, even though I know what I'm doing, I'm excellent at what I do. This one sometimes still pops in for me personally, the fear of losing money. And that's just because I almost feel like I have PTSD from losing everything and filing bankruptcy. What if I make a mistake and lose everything? I was there. the key is when you're good at this, it's not going to be a problem, right? And then my last one, they're overwhelmed by the process, right? You're just like, oh my gosh, there's so much to learn. Where do I even begin? So put in the chat if you had to pick which one is your number one out of these. I know for some of you guys, it's all of them. Which one? Overwhelm. Okay, Monty, I got it. Lack of guidance. Oh, you know what, Harry, everyone's got money. Look at that. I didn't know. You guys are doing way better than I am. When I started, I didn't have any money or access to money.
Maybe the
Right?
returns are better than yours.
Yep, exactly, right. And yeah, Anita, yep, I agree. Like sometimes it's everything, right? It's a combination and it hits all the way through, right? So yeah, what if I told you there's a way to overcome all these barriers and starting today? Right? So I'm going to kind of go over a couple different processes. And the easiest one is, let me tell you, right? How BPM RIA could help you with zero out-of-pocket costs, right? And the way to do it is, number one is in our coaching program, right? I put up 100% of the money for the deals. So you can no longer use that, right? That's pretty big. You actually have no upfront capital at all. We're putting money for the deposits. We're putting money for inspections, appraisals, all the above. Mentorship, right? You guys are talking about guidance. Step-by-step guidance from investors in your market. So, you know, Harry, I mean, we could, I don't know if anyone wants to share in the chat if they've done a national program or they're in one. So what were some of the challenges you had, Harry, with the national program?
Well, the national program was very good at selling their program. And I thought I could do everything. They taught us a little bit about a lot of things, just enough to get me going and spend a lot of money. But it turns out after I got involved that I realized I couldn't do it all at one time. And when I was asking for help, they were not local. They didn't understand the local market. Their support was subliminal. It was basically one call a month, maybe 2 calls a month, and there was no additional training. So it was disheartening, but we learned a little bit of base to get started when I say we, it's Victoria and myself, when we started with at the time BRIA, which is now BPM RIA. So we had something to start with, but the key for us was getting plugged in, learning about everything we could, go to all the meetings, just keep learning. And it made it so much easier when we accepted the learning process. It wasn't long, but it was definitely necessary.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the national, like my beef is not with what they teach. I think the information's excellent. The challenge is that, you know, I was flying out to different events around the country, which was kind of fun. The challenge was, like when I went to Houston, I almost feel like they had no code enforcement. And what I mean by that is, I don't know, Harry, if you've been to other cities where you could literally have a graveyard, right? A funeral home, a cemetery, and then right next to it, you could have a house. And you know, they like, I mean, their permit, like, oh, I'll just put a wall here. No problem, right there. Our market is definitely different. So some of the challenges, what may work in other markets are not the same. So that's one of the things, you know, having our mentorship, we're here in the market, we're willing to go out to the house with you all the way through. We have a ton of resources, right? We have our cash buyers list. We actually have a full power team. If you guys have been at the BPM RIA meetings, from contractors, inspection companies, hard money guys, insurance, we literally have everything you need. We do practice different creative financing strategies. We will be talking about creative financing strategies on the 2-day quick start. I'll probably do another webinar on creative strategies that have been working in our markets. And then we're actually hands-on learning, right? Real deals, just not theory, right? So a lot of times I've gone around or watched webinars, you could do this, and it just doesn't feel the same until you actually see the deal happen, right? So that's always important. Some of the other things that, you know, the 3-step process to close deals with zero out-of-pocket expenses, right, is education. So you have to educate, right? How many of you guys agree that you have to educate yourself? And at the same time, I'm going to give you what to watch out for. There's so many people, right, Harry, that all they do is they're in the education world and they're never in action.
I've seen people to this day that I was sitting next to when I first started, and they're still there, and they haven't done anything.
Yeah, so I mean, again, you do need some basics, right? You need to learn how to find undervalued properties and analyze deals, right? So that's important. When you identify these opportunities, you can make a lot of money. And what we mean by that, right, is how many deals, man, I feel like, Harry, all your deals have violations on the deals where so many deals where the homeowner or other investors missed, right? So, I mean, you did that deal, and if you want to kind of just chat about that little bit of the deal, the one that you sold to Carl.
Well, I love being violated, by the way, or violations. But violations scare away competition, which is great. There was 2.6 million in liens on this particular house that was vacant for 14 years. I found the owners, heirs, or owners, no heirs, sorry, owners and their family made the deal happen. And I ended up, there was 12,000 in water bills and 10,000 in like past due something, or I forgot already, but and then there was 2.6 million in liens on top of it. So I ended up buying that property for 55,000.
Yeah, could you there's a couple of questions because there's some pretty important points on it. So the house was fire damaged, it had 2 fires, and it had been sitting there for how long?
14 years.
14 years, right? So you heard it right. 14 years it's been sitting empty. For years, there was a possibility that any one of you guys could have got that deal. That was number one, right? You found it, and I think, was that for driving for dollars?
Yeah, that one actually was.
Okay, yep. So that was driving for dollars. A lot of deals we do get through REIFax also. You saw, you know, the distressed amount on it, meaning the mess it was. What happened next? Like, how did you know, obviously they're not living in it. It's been 14 years. What happened next?
Well, the first thing I do is look. I look at the property appraisals to see if it's in the homeowner's name. If it's in a bank's name, I don't go after it. But since it was still in the homeowner's name, I started doing our diligent detective work to find this owner. It turns out he was, and we ran it through our skip trace service. We use IDI Core. I mean, REIFax has one as well. IDI Core is more detailed, gives us relatives as well. So we ended up calling these people up in Brooklyn. They pretended they did not speak English. So I didn't like that. So I called their sons, and the sons were amiable to working with us to sell the house as long as there was no strings attached to them and their family. I found out there was a mortgage on the house, but it turns out that because of the fire, the insurance company paid them down the mortgage enough so that the bank ended up writing off the remaining $20,000, $30,000. So this house was free and clear.
Correct, right? Minus the 2.7
Minus
and liens, right? Which I think also, I think the bank also, not only did they get their money because of the insurance end of it, is that besides the insurance end of it, the big thing is they didn't want the violations, right? So that's always important too.
And that's also why banks usually leave, just as a side note, why banks usually leave it in the homeowner's name. They don't want the liability. So there's a little tidbit of extra information for future deals for you guys.
Yep.
But since it's still in the homeowner's name, you can still do something. So I never pass up on those opportunities. You got another question for me?
Yeah, no, I mean, I wanted you to do it because there's some important stuff going on in that process, right?
Yes.
So now, like, how did you build, and again, you haven't met them in person, right? How did you build trust with them? You're talking to the kids.
Well, fortunately, I mean, this one was a little different. I first spoke to a son that was sort of estranged from his parents. So he said he would help, but he wasn't helpful. That killed a month. And then I sort of, after finding this out that it wasn't going anywhere, it got buried on my desk for about a year. So when I cleaned off my desk, everything else was no good, except this one was still in the exact same situation. So I ran another skip trace. Turns out another son, a different son, popped up. And when I called that son, he said he was in Europe at the time at school. And definitely they want to sell get this, guys, the investor that was going to buy the house just backed out. And it turns out, I said, because they backed out because of the 2.6 million in liens and the $20,000 for taxes and water bills. And they go, yes. And I said, well, would you still be interested in selling it at that $55,000 level? And he goes, absolutely. So we put it under contract. And the first person I called was Carl. Second person I called was Carl. And Carl, take a look at this house, because we did other deals in the past. Oh, very similar. And I said, Carl, I'm looking to get like maybe 235 out of this. Right? If you're following 55, 235. Carl takes it with all liens and violations. And so he reviewed it and he goes, you pay the taxes and you pay the water. So I'm now in for 75,000. 75 to 235 is still a tremendous deal. It's $156,000. So I agreed and took it with the 2.6 million in liens, because those liens accruing are due to violations that are on the property that must be complied with before the city will negotiate. So Carl's a unique buyer that understands what the city will take. I knew what the city will take as well, approximately, and use that in our calculations. So he knew he had to fix the roof and the fire damage and bring it up to code and all this other stuff. So all these violations remained in place while he was rehabbing the property. He had to pull permits and everything like that. The city saw us doing something, so they were very amiable to work with us. Certain hard costs that the city had for boarding up or mowing the grass, maintaining the property, I think that was like $33,000 or something. That's non-negotiable. But at the end, when Carl was done, the city actually took $7,500 total.
So there's a couple of things I want to hit on. So number one, right, Harry probably owned the house for a few hours one day, right? He used, I think I lent on this one, didn't I? On this deal, or did you actually do your own money on this?
No, I think you went on that one, so I didn't have.
So we're going to talk about that, right? So Harry used zero money out of his pocket. Like, I want you guys to understand that. I funded the deal. I think I was in it for 70. Would you say 70? I don't know. Like, after closing costs, water, whatever that was, it was about 75,000.
75,000.
You wholesaled it to Carl for what, 235?
235.
Right. So Harry made like close to 150,000 plus net using zero money out of his pocket. Yeah, he paid me points and interest on that end of it. In our coaching program, we go 50-50. on the profit, but he literally has no money of his own in it, right? The second end of it is that Carl, who's a specialized buyer, our contractor, he rehabbed it, and I believe he made well over 170. I don't know what it was around there. The numbers were just 175,
185.
185 on the deal, right? It went from one student to another student / contractor. And the irony is, and we'll talk about too, is Carl didn't use any of his own money. He raised money for that deal. So between the two of you, you're talking about a net profit of well over 300 plus, 320, 330, whatever that number is. And neither one of you used any of your own money, is what's important. The other thing is also, what Harry was talking about, 2.7 million to 7,500 bucks. So on the violation, and it wound up being a win-win. So I think that's always really important. On when you're in our program, you're not gonna have to worry about that, right? We're gonna take care of that. And again, the profits, for us, it's always a win-win situation where we go 50-50 on the profits, right?
By the way, these numbers are not HGTV numbers. These are actual after all expenses net profits.
And the idea is to scale it up, right? And keep doing it again. And some of you guys have told me you want to build a portfolio. Some of you guys don't want to build a portfolio. You just want to flip houses. So the answer is yes to both, right? Depending on where you're at. So some creative ways to fund deals without breaking the bank, right? So people always ask us, leverage other people's money, OPM. How many of you guys have actually done deals and used other people's money? Put in the chat. Just kind of curious. And what we mean by that, right, is you want to partner with private lenders or investors to fund your deals. Harry, have you done any private money besides me, or I'm just kind of curious, like when you first started, besides the BPM or BRIA program or any of the
It's all you offered such a fantastic deal with zero risk financially for us that we stuck with you, and it's just been something that has been unbeatable. So I'd rather use OPM, yours in this case. I should be UAM, Fish's money.
Yeah.
But it just made it so much simpler to do that for us, and made it the profits remarkable.
Yep.
Just the opportunity.
So for me, right, again, I did that national program. There was no such program of someone putting up all the money for the deals. And I knew there was something to the wholesaling. I was a rehabber before. I never knew about wholesaling. I didn't have any money anymore. So I was like, wow, you could control a property. You could assign it. You could do something to it. If I need transaction, I didn't know what transactional funding is, and we'll talk about that too. I was like, how am I going to get money for deals? And what I did was, as I was losing my place on the Venetian Causeway in Miami Beach, luxury condo, I rented out the club room. And in the club room, I invited about 50 or 60 people. I don't even know how many people. Anyone I thought that was successful, that had some money. And I was trying to explain what wholesaling meant, like double closings. And they're like, about 48 people said no, and 2 people said yes. And so I was able to borrow the money for the day to start doing double closings. So when you're new and you don't have any money, or even, I don't even want to say if you're new, I should say that. If you really want to leverage and build your business and you're doing a ton of deals, you want to use other people's money. All right. And of course, you want to have a mortgage and notes. They're gonna rely on your experience because they want their money to be protected, right? Hard money loans. How many of you guys have actually done hard money loans? I feel like some of you guys have been doing this. Okay. And what are you guys seeing on the hard money loans and rates? How does hard money work? Emily, it's expensive. It's all relative. If it's short term, it's not that expensive. Are you going to hold on to it if you're going to keep it long term to build in your portfolio? Way too expensive, especially in our market. There's no way that you'll be able to cash flow. Yep, Monty, right? Yeah. So the rates are generally anywhere from 10 to 15% is what we're saying. The second portion of that, right, which does get expensive, is points. So points are generally anywhere from 2.5 to, I've actually seen 4. So what is a point? Harry, what's a point?
The percentage,
A percentage of what you're borrowing, right? So when I say that is if it's for easy numbers, right? If you're borrowing 200,000, 1 point is $2,000. So if you're borrowing, and let's say it's 2.5 points to 4 points, that could be anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000 that you have to pay up front at closing, plus the monthly payments, right? So those, and you're right, Emily, it does get expensive if you don't know what you're doing. The other challenge is with hard money, what do you think the loan to value is, right? If I'm buying a $200,000 house, and let's say I'm going to rehab it, how much money do you think that they're going to lend to you? Because they're not going to give you the full 200,000. How much money do you think they'll give you? Go ahead and put in the chat. Sandra, I wish. No one's going to give you acquisition at 85%. What I can tell you, Monty, you're right. Or I'm sorry, Gabriel and Monty both, 80% is what you're seeing. I have seen some of the lenders pull back to 75%. So on the 200,000, the max you'll get is 160,000, right? So you still got to come up with the 40,000. You still need to come up with the points. Remember, there's going to be recording fees. There's stamps. So before you know it, it does get expensive. If you have no experience, that's going to be also different. They're going to lower it. If your credit's not very good, that could be a challenge also. So the max is 80%, is what I could tell you. The other end of it is, what about repairs, right? Let's talk about on the repair end of it. What are they going to lend you on the repairs? What have you guys seen? And again, all the lenders are not created equal. They're going to also check to see where your experience level is. They're going to check to see where your credit score is. If you do it right, right? So what they'll tell you is they may do 100% of the repairs if the after repair is 70%. So if you buy it low enough without actually getting into the hard money end of it, if you buy it low enough, you could actually get all your repair costs included in the rehab, in the loan. That's for the good people, right? Sometimes, and there are some other challenges also, where they're not going to give you all the money up front. They're going to do it, they're going to give you money as you start finishing the kitchen. As you start, you finish the roof. They're not going to give you the $60,000, $70,000 right up front. There are some lenders that it's just pure asset based. They don't really care about your experience. The loan to value is going to be anywhere closer to 50 to 60%. All right. So the good people that have been doing this for a while, it's an easy way to leverage to do a ton of deals. Right. So all the ones, and we've done classes, I'll probably do more webinars on this end of it, is if you're a professional rehabber or you're a wholesaler selling to professional rehabbers, you have to build cost of money. Rarely are they using all of their own money on deals, right? Creative financing. So put in the chat, what does creative financing mean to you? Give me an example. What creative financing? Just curious to see what you guys think. In the chat, right? Seller, yes, seller financing, right? Sub 2 deals, right? Lease options. So if you learn these other techniques, you can literally get into deals with very little money. One of the things, our members or through our organization, Note School with Eddie Speed, One of the things that when I talked to them, they bought about, this was not last year, year before, $33 million in notes, performing notes. What they told me was 1/3 was 0% down, 0% interest. So it will be really important to learn creative financing techniques if you're on limited cash, right? I actually had a deal that was a short-term rental here in Oakland Park that they presented to me, where they said I could get in for $10,000. The cash price was $900,000. The finance with the seller carryback and subject to was about $1 million. And the funny part, the number still didn't make any sense on the short-term rental. Harry, you'll laugh about it. Like, I did the numbers. If everything worked out, I'm going to make 3% on my money. So it just didn't make any sense. And I could have literally got in with zero money. So you have to start adding that education on the creative financing if you're on a limited budget. So a lot of people are doing deals around the country with seller financing, lease options. Again, we'll go over those things on the 2-day quick start. So I think that's always important too.
Knowing the numbers is critical. My father told me when I was very young, 100% of nothing is still nothing.
Yep, exactly. Right. And then obviously on the wholesaling side, if you we put down $1,000 for our deposits. I would say if you're new with limited cash, a minimum of $500 down. The idea of $10, which is true, that you can lock up a contract, it's just not realistic in our market for $10 or even $100. I do understand in the Midwest, I have friends, they're buying houses for 30 or 40,000 in St. Louis. Yeah, they're locking up with $100. So again, you can literally still do deals and build cash with limited amount of money. So the other big question, right, always comes are you using retirement funds for real estate? So how many of you guys have actually heard you could buy real estate through your IRAs or solo 401ks or any kind of retirement vehicles? How many of you guys are doing it or have actually heard about it? Good. Let me know if you've been doing it. Okay. Some of you guys have. Okay. You guys have heard about it, right? So let's see. Okay, there we go. Right. So why do we like retirement accounts, right? You get to tap into untapped wealth, right? You could use funds from a self-directed IRA to invest in real estate. So when I tell you, right, if you understand, like some of you guys in the past, might, or currently, I guess, have a 401k, or you had jobs and you've been putting money in retirement. And again, I'm not against, putting it into the market. My thing is, right, put it in the market and put some money into real estate. So you could actually do both. So, I mean, one of our sponsors or National RIA Benefits is Camoplan. If you've ever seen Carl Fisher, he's actually one of my mentors. And the funny part is I actually met him on the National RIA Cruise. So it definitely helped me out on my business, right? So the other benefit is tax advantage growth. Profits earned within the IRA are tax deferred or tax free. So Harry, what do you like better? And I guess we should define what a tax deferred versus tax free.
Well, a 401k or a traditional IRA is a tax deferred program. So you can put money into that, defer your taxes until you start making mandatory withdrawals when you're 72 currently. Probably will increase over time or decrease over time. But so that way you can build your tax deferred account, buy properties, and that money, that profit can go into your IRA tax deferred. Again, so you're pushing the taxes down till you retire. And hopefully your tax bracket will be lower when you retire than it is currently. A Roth IRA or a Roth component of a 401k, if you own your own company, which is what we do. We do both, but a traditional Roth IRA, you're only allowed to put in a certain amount. I think it's like $7,000 to $7,500, depending on your age currently.
Yep.
But that's post-tax dollars. So if you make $8,000, $10,000, let's say, you get your taxes taken out, and you can take that $7,500 and put it into your traditional, your Roth IRA, where the Roth component of a 401k, last year you were able to put up to $67,500 into that Roth component, employee contribution, as well as corporate contributions, and I'm corporate also. So it's a way to reduce taxes for the corporation, and a way to do a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that that's just like way too much information for someone that might be new. So a couple of things I call it initial proof it, meaning keep it a little bit simple, is that you may have a retirement account. One is tax deferred, means that you'll pay taxes later. And if it's tax free, you've already paid the taxes up front. So whatever you gain on the flip, on the rentals, you'll never have to pay taxes on it. So what I also tell people, right, and we'll actually have to do a class on this, is a lot of times, and Harry's right, is like, hey, I only have a little bit of money, or what am I going to buy with it, right? So if you're under 50, the contribution's $7,000. If you're over 50, it's $8,000. There are some income limits depending on the Roth and the traditional. What's really important is if you know how to find deals, and let's say you only have $1,000, go ahead and open up a Roth IRA. Get it under contract with your Roth IRA, and let's say you assign the contract, and now you make 20, 30, 40, or whatever that number is, it's tax-free. So a lot of people don't realize retirement accounts are a great way to fund deals. The other thing why it's really important to actually understand this is that, let's say you're new and you don't have much. If you understand self-directed IRAs, there's a lot of people out there. I could even tell you my network, they have money in their retirement, they want to be in real estate, and they just don't have the time or the know-how or all the above. If you understand self-directed IRAs, then you could have them move it to a custodian, and with that custodian, they can invest in real estate. So I can't say, hey, Harry, man, that self-directed stuff is amazing, right? And Harry's, the first question he's going to ask me is like, oh, you have an IRA, self-directed IRA too? And I said, oh no, I don't have one, but it'd be perfect for you. So once you understand it, it's fantastic. The great thing is that it's diverse in investment options, right? Where you could actually buy rental properties, you could do rehabs in it, you could buy notes in it, and you can lend. So this is an easy way to fund your stuff. Again, the cool thing is on on these retirement things, there's no credit check at all, right? So, and everything's negotiable once you understand it. The other thing is you do want to be with a custodian that understands the IRS regulations. Our go-to is Camel Plan. That is one of our national RIA benefits. I am also a Camel Plan customer. They will also be at the Saturday event for Next Mill Mastermind too. So highly recommend it. Right. Oops.
Now, I don't know if you can spare another minute for me here, but regarding the National RIA Cruise, Anish wanted me to go on them for a couple of years, and I sort of balked. But the one I finally agreed to, as soon as the ship left the dock, I was still remorseful, saying I have no clue why I'm on this ship. The next morning, the first 15 minutes, guy asked a question about investing with a Roth. And in 15 minutes, I got it. And that was worth the whole trip. And that's where I met Carl as well. So we share these things. And even though what I said may have been a little confusing, it was for me in the beginning. So you're not alone. but this is a safe place to get all this information and know how to work it. And Anish is a master at all of this. So we're able to, whatever situation that we face that it comes up, we know that there's somebody in the organization who has the information to help us. So that's why Victoria and I love this place. But okay.
Yeah, and you're right, like meaning, and I appreciate the vote of confidence. And more importantly, you're right, we have access with the RIA. So I'm not an insurance expert, I'm not a title company expert, I'm not, any of these experts, and I can make a quick phone call to get the right answers. So the other way to actually get into business is JV agreements. Have any of you guys actually done JVs, joint venture agreements, or joint venture deals in general, right? So what I like about it is you get to share the investment risk, right? You actually have a partner on it. You get to pool resources to minimize financial exposure. So a lot of times, instead of me going all in, I might do a deal with Harry or vice versa, right? I might have money out on a different project. So sometimes it works out pretty well. To leverage expertise, right? So maybe you do a JV agreement and you're the expert of knowing how to find deals, right? And for me, he just uses me for money. And Harry is an expert on how to mitigate liens, violations, all the above. So you're basically combining skills. We've seen it where when I first started is, hey, I find the deals, you provide the capital. What I can tell you, we kind of joke about it, is at BPM RIA, again, I go 50-50 with you, right? It is, I don't know anyone else that does that. Eventually you're going to realize that I'm too expensive, right? So as you start finding deals, you might, I don't know, you might have your other private investors and give them 20% of the profit, 30%. You might use your expertise and they're just using money, right? So there's also profit sharing agreements where, and that's what I'm talking about, is you definitely want to make sure you define it before. Too many people I've seen, and I'm probably guilty of this years back, where, hey, we'll figure it out, right? And that's not the answer you want. We'll figure it out, right? You want to make sure you define the roles and you actually decide what everyone's going to make in those things, right? And the other big thing is you get to expand your reach. You get to take on larger deals, right? Syndications, if you guys have know what syndication is, where you pool a lot of money. You see this in the multifamily space. So you get to do bigger projects that you may not have having a JV agreement. So these are different things that we all use all the time. Again, I've done JV agreements on land. I've done JV agreements on multifamily, commercial properties where I'm not the true expert on it. And all I'm doing is putting people together. So these are definite ways to make money. Some of the additional strategies that we talk about are government grants and loans. So there are different programs out there. It just really depends on the city. We don't have as many. I know on the development side, we definitely have a shortage of affordable housing. At one point, they were giving money to developers to subsidize on government grants and loans. So that could be an option, right? The other things that we've seen also is bartering services for equity, right? Where you have the time, or maybe you're a contractor, maybe you're a handyman. It could be any of those. Hey, I'll do the work for quote unquote free or at cost, right? So those are things that you can do. I've done them in the past. I had a lot of time and not much money. Option contracts, right? Where you could secure the right to purchase a property at a set price. It's just a flat out option fee. With the option fee, it's non-refundable. So we've done deals where you've actually locked in the price, and a year later, you were able to take the option and exercise it and make some money, whether you wholesale it, rehab it, sell it retail. crowdfunding for real estate deals. So one of the ways you can do it, there are different online platforms out there to raise funds. If you guys were actually at the meeting on our panel, Fractional is a new National RIA benefit that they're partnering with National RIA, where you could actually get into deals for as little as $5,000. So you could either get into deals and you partner with other people that are looking at the same deal, or you could post your deals to raise money. So there's a lot of different ways you could go out there without actually having a ton of money. I think one of the challenges I had when I first started was I can't do deals because I don't have any money, right? That was a big stop for me. Or I can't do deals because I don't know how to analyze properties. So those were some of the things that we've done without actually using your own money, right? There are some other traditional ways. I didn't even talk about if you're house hacking. House hacking is when you're living in one, like let's say it's a fourplex, you're living in one apartment and the other 3 units are paying for your mortgage and it covers it. So there are some other ways you could get into real estate investing without having a ton of money. I always thought you always needed a ton of money, 20, 30, 40% down, one deal at a time. So I'm not sure if anyone's got any questions. I did see some in the, did I miss anything? I know it's in the chat. If you guys put them in the Q&A, the chat just moves too fast for us to actually see about questions in there. So let me see. Okay, so, okay. Yeah. So which one, just out of curiosity, which one do you guys think you'd lean to? I'm just kind of curious, right? If you have limited cash or knowledge, right? So you might have the cash and you're just partnering with someone where they find the deal, right? Yeah, wholesaling obviously is easiest. I would say.
Seeing for some landlords, I've been seeing the bartering, which is
Bartering.
I like to see that too.
Yeah, I've seen that a ton, where I'll just do the work for it. I'll find the deal. I'll do the work on it. You provide the capital. I've seen a lot of people do that too, right? The JV thing is massive, right? So, it could literally change your life. And the idea is that you get really good at it, then you do the big deals by yourself, the one that you're going to make money on it. And Harry made a point today where he said, look, you'd rather make something versus nothing on a deal. I feel like a lot of people always are looking for that perfect deal too. So some of the deals that we've done, right? I promised you I'd show you some deals. So this is a deal, our student Violet. This was a pre-foreclosure with equity. She used REIFax, the software, knocked on their door. They've been living in this neighborhood for years and they didn't want to sell it on the open market, meaning they didn't want to sign. So a lot of you guys, I don't know about you guys, may have some nosy neighbors. If you've been living in the same neighborhood, why are you selling? What's going on with you? And she needed time. So she needed 90 days. We did an assignment fee. We made $35,000 on this deal. I'll let Harry talk about this deal, Sandra's deal.
I think he had to take a call.
Oh, he did? Okay.
So,
All right. So maybe not.
or can't
Yeah.
stop, won't stop.
Yeah, he's probably right. He's
Probably doing a deal right now.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So this is our Sandra's deal, who's actually on the call. This is a 55 and over neighborhood of reverse mortgage short sale. You can see that the house is not in good condition, black molds all the way through. One of the things, we didn't rehab the house. We closed on it. And our net profit was $61,000 on that deal. Just let me know if Harry does come back on. My video is not working, so
Totally, gotcha.
yep, thanks. So this deal is Mario's deal, right? So this was a probate deal. There were 8 heirs. We, of course, 7 of them agreed to sell on it. and the eighth one said, oh, I'm going to try to rehab it. We finally convinced them to do the deal. Mario being an elite student where I put up the money for the rehab, we did our numbers and we said, you know what, we'll make more money wholesaling on it. And we made a net profit of $70,000. This deal, Julio, we're going to call him the Hoarder King. So if you can imagine, they were living in the house like this for over 5 years. Don't ask about where the kitchen, the bathroom, all the above. They started on this house. You couldn't even see the house. There were a ton of cars up front. It took almost 16 dumpsters and 3 days to clear out the house. Originally, they wanted well over $700,000 on the deal. And we got it for about $375,000. There were well over, gosh, if Harry pops back on, I want to say it was well close to $400,000 in violations. We got it down to $3. Our hard cost was $1,700. So basically, I'm sorry.
Harry's back, by the way. My bad.
Oh, is it? Oh, thanks. So yeah, Harry, do you want to? I was just telling everyone. Do you remember how much was on the violations on this house?
There were 3 violations for various things from overgrowth, abandoned vehicles, and roof. And that was $386,000. Like you said, we did get it down to $3. There were almost $1,675 in hard costs, which we actually had our buyer pay.
Yeah.
And we purchased this for three and a quarter, not $375.
Oh, 3 and a quarter. Okay, yeah. And so I mean, they wanted over 7. I remember it was just funny.
Yes.
So just because a number, they tell you a number, and one of the things that we do teach you is how to negotiate, right? And I think the key was, Harry with our student Julio, they found out what their need was, right? He wanted to buy a house, Port St. Lucie, am I right? Or was it Port St. Lucie or that area?
The father was the guy living there. The son, who lived up in Melbourne, built a house up there for his father. And since the father was a hoarder, we had to deal with that psychological issue.
Yeah.
And give them time for the father not to freak out and accept the fact that he was going to be moving to a new home. We promised to get him everything he wanted out of the house. He even actually drew us a map of where the things were in that mess. So when we're cleaning it out, we were able to put those aside. The son came back down and picked them out. So it's about solving the problems, hearing what's going on.
Well, the thing was they were trying to net a certain number. That's what I was trying to get.
Yeah,
to.
they wanted to net a minimum of 200,000 so that the father could pay off the bank. We thought the bank was about 75,000, the mortgage. It turns out that they were in a forbearance plan and they only owed 27,000. So we ended up getting like $260,000 profit. They were incredibly happy, even though we were buying this at $325. So they got exactly what they wanted and needed. So the father could move up, take over the house without any debt, and live in a brand new house that he could afford up there. But
And so I'm just going to run through these pretty quick. Some of the other deals just because of time. This is the same thing. Julio, Hoarder. This was a double probate, correct?
This was a double probate, yes.
Yep. So someone passed away. We're in the middle of doing a probate. Unfortunately, the heir passed away. So we paid for the probate. Same thing, Hoarder. We cleaned it out. It was actually worse once we cleaned it out. And we netted $110,000 on this deal. Again, these are net profits. The students are making 50% on these deals. This one, if you want to just run through them real quick, Harry.
This one here was on REIFax. Found it was in pre-foreclosure. It was a reverse mortgage. More was owed than the house was worth. I contacted the heirs. Long story short, they agreed to work with me, let me do the magic that I do. We got the house reduced, created the equity, and at the time, this was our largest single wholesale profit for single family homes.
Yep. Absolutely. And then this one was our
That was
student.
also double probate also.
Yep, Davidson, this was free and clear, couple $100,000 in violations. We had to evict the tenant, which was living in the other room, while the homeowner was living in the one room. So they had to put the eviction papers on the second room. We did go in front of the magistrate, and we did tell the homeowner not to say anything, and of course she said something. They came back at $15,000 from 200 and change. The homeowner paid $7,500. We paid $7,500. We were going to rehab the house. We didn't. It was $98,000 in profit. Again, students making half. We got a couple more that will show you. Right. So this was an unsafe structure. This is one of Harry's deals. Black mold. We got them out. This one netted about $111,000. We talked about self-directed IRAs. This is one of Harry and Victoria's deal where they only put $1,000 down of their own money. They used their Roth IRA. I funded it. We're a JV partner, so they did a JV and a self-directed, right? We cleaned it up. And this one netted $145,000 tax-free. Our next one was a duplex. One was free and clear. Harry decided, and Victoria like, hey, I really like this Roth idea where it's tax-free. So again, got it under contract, put it in their Roth. This is our record, $265,000 tax-free on the same $1,000. So if you're doing the math, that's $400,000 on the same $1,000 tax-free. We do fix houses also, so it's not that we just wholesale them. So this is one of our deals with Sandra, also one of our students. Clean it up. We could have wholesaled it. We rehabbed it. We staged it. Again, we want to make sure there's enough room in the deal, meaning the ARV was in the 460s. We finally settled around 410. So thank God we had some room in there. So we made $53,000 on the rehab. The rehab only took 45 days. But it did take about 4 months to get it sold. This was another deal with Great Bones. We could have wholesaled it, made 5 or 10 grand. This is Latanya, one of our elite students. The elite students, again, I'll put up the money for the rehab. We cleaned it up. And this was $67,000 profit. So you guys are starting to see the same thing. We'll fix them up. They're starting to look the same. We have a staging company. We're picking the same colors. When you're in our program, you're going to work with your mentor, and we're going to get you through all the way through to the end. This was $167,000 profit. One last deal I'll show you. Again, this is in your market, guys, right? So we bought the house. We bought this house for $150,000. We did a Gaia inspection report. We got it down for $125,000. Unfortunately, what you think this is, it is, meaning unsanitary is probably the nicest way I could say that. They thought it'd be a tear down. It was not. We wholesaled it, $235,000. So I'm going to play a couple testimonials from some students of what they think about our program.
Hi, everybody. My name is Antonio Lopez. My company name is Antlop Investment Properties. And before I met Anish Dave and joined the BPM RIA mentoring, I had just a basic idea of what I needed to do in real estate investing. After I joined, aside from learning pretty much everything that was required to learn about real estate investing and to become successful, one of the biggest benefits that I received was the amazing network of people that were part of the club. Everything that you can think of, everything that you need in order to be successful in real estate investing, you can find it here at the BPM RIA. So thank you so much, BPM and Anish, for everything. I really appreciate it. I owe you guys a ton. And for you guys watching this, I highly encourage you to check out BPM RIA. It's the first place you need to, where you want to start your real estate investing journey. So.
Yep, and Antonio's also in our mastermind too. So it's pretty cool for us.
My name is Tevin Moxham. My company is TARF LLC. Before I met Anish, I was just learning about real estate, getting excited about it, heard that it could change your life. Didn't know exactly how. I just know people said, hey, if you want to be a millionaire, do real estate. After meeting Anish, I've learned so many strategies, so much things that has changed my life. We're doing several deals now a month, several creative finance deals, which people said, hey, you can't do that in this market. Hey, it's possible now. We're doing several. Got one in Jacksonville. We got 2 in South Carolina. We got 1 down here in Fort Lauderdale, 1 in Miami. So just letting you guys know, right, you can get passive income, active income, big incomes, little income streams. It could change your life, 1 deal at a time. Just want to thank you guys. Thank you, Anish, and make sure you join the next Mill Mastermind. Change your life.
Yep, and Tevin was also one of our acquisition guys, and it's been an amazing journey all the way through with him. So we do have our coaching program. What I invite you is to book a discovery call. Our program starts at $19,997. I put up all the money for the deals, and we do have financing options. Our elite program has the rehab option too. So go ahead and book, a discovery call. And I know you're going to have a ton of questions. We do have our quick start that's coming up February 22nd and 23rd. It is a 2-day event. We have realtors, we have newbie investors, we have all sorts of people that want to build generational wealth, experienced investors, and people looking to build passive income. These are the different types of people that go to our 2-day quick start. Again, if you're looking to change your life, you're going to want to do this. There's some bonuses that I'm going to give you guys for the people that are into action. One of the things I'm going to give you is 2 tickets to Marshall Silver's Turning Point. That's almost a $6,000 value. I'm going to put up money for your deals for the transactional funding, which is about $10,000. Our co-wholesaling program, which is $40,000, because we have a massive cash buyers list. Obviously, we have a full power team that you also get that's valued at $25,000. So it's a total of $80,990 that I'm going to give you as bonuses for people that are into action. And as Alexa said, that our event is February 22nd and 23rd. And what we also do is I actually give you a money back guarantee. So if you're not happy after the first day and you say, hey, this was not for me, and it wasn't what I thought it'd be, I will gladly give you your money back. So we do have limited seating. It is via Zoom, and it's pretty fun. I do see a lot of people that have actually been on our event too. So I do see some questions about our program. I invite you to book the discovery call, and we'll answer all those questions. And Alexa, I know somebody won today, so no more comments over here.
The bonuses as well. My gosh, we are off to a good start this year. All right, I have a winner for the 2-day quick start ticket, free $695 value from Javier S. Congratulations. You are in. So happy for you.
Awesome. So you are our lucky winner. I want to thank you guys for hopping on our webinar. We do have the replay. It'll be on our YouTube channel within 24 hours. We're asking our members if you are starting to see value in this, if you could give us a 5-star Google review, that really helps us out and really putting out the notice of what we're up to. If you guys have any ideas on webinars that you guys want to hear, right, or topics, I will do my best to get, if I don't know how to teach it, I'll get an expert within our group to help teach it. Again, what Alexa talked about, this is your RIA also. I hope tomorrow, so we have a webinar tomorrow with Aisha, who's a successful wholesaler, where I'm going to interview her on best practices.
Gonna be sick.
And if you want to come see us in person, some of you guys that are having trouble analyzing properties, so that's what that workshop's going to be in Boca. So that's going to be in person, and then Saturday is our Super Saturday event too. So.
Yep. That workshop is right by FAU, right off 95. Just as long as you get on 95 in time, you're good. But it's literally right next to the highway. So you guys, please, I'm here. You have any questions? Everybody, please, I will send each and every one of you a thank you email from me personally. So if you have any questions, how do I get to the workshop? How do I get to the webinar? Anything like that, I'm here for you guys. Like Anish said, this is your RIA. So please give us the Google review, preferably 5 stars only, but let us know your thoughts and everything. I really appreciate it, you guys. So I hope you guys have an awesome week. We will see you on Zoom again tomorrow morning and talk to you soon.
Yep. See you guys again.
Congrats
Thanks,
again.
Harry. Thanks, Alexa.
Harry, thank you, Anish.
Yep. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.